Growing up in my neighborhood was good. The one-family cookie-cutter ranches were good. The greener grass and cleaner streets and leafy trees were good. The SUVs, the worker bees, the 2.1 children per family were all good. But I'm not from this world, I've been told. I'm not from the real world, I've been told. My whole existence was a figment of my imagination, I've been told. A fantasy world where little white black boys and little black girls hold hands with little white boys and little white girls with little blonde Shirley Temple curls and sing, "Wahoo, no ring," with the late Martin Luther King. A world at the end of the rainbow, coalition on the other side of the mountaintop where black folks fought to get permission to drink out of white folks' water fountains, not a bounty of popping blocks to mark boundaries of rotten plots of land, crammed with families on top of families on top of families of cockroaches, knocking other cockroaches back in their packed prison once they get to the top of the mountain because they wanted to drink from the water fountain. It seems we all forgot what we were fighting for. Fighting for? Fighting to keep the white man rich and the black man poor, holding doors and scrubbing floors instead of running floors of corporate employees and holding more stock with offshore companies? Nigga, please. Don't come at me for that verbal harm. Because my father was a poor black boy, raised on a chicken farm in Chickasha, Oklahoma, and he still got his high school diploma. And with that knowledge, he took himself to college on an honor scholarship in a time when earning emancipation was no vacation, no easy thing when you literally have to pull yourself up by your bootstrings and a prayer. Please, God, just this time, let life be fair. And no, it still ain't fair when you gotta be working twice as hard to be living half as large as your white counterparts, but at least be thankful that our parents' generation has given us a start. Because now my father is head nigga in charge of a firm of the smartest black engineers in these parts after barging his way through like bars of segregation. And my mother teaches black kids pronunciation and punctuation and tense so they can have enough sense to speak with intelligence when it comes to getting a job with Merrill Lynch. Raised in the ghetto where ignorance was bliss, she still got her bachelor's as a speech pathologist. So why do we insist on living impoverished? Instead of clenching stacks of lag rock in our fists to climb to the top of the mountain of oppressiveness, we clench crack rocks in our fists. Participating in the government's tricks of incarcerating, segregating, neutering, and spaying the trust of our race, tricking us into seeking us on us, deceiving us into being diseased and deceased to resist, spraying cockroaches off their blocks. What's so wrong with picking up where the 60s left off? With raising our fists and resisting governmental tricks, with raiding worker bees, earning the keys to that SUV, hearing bluebirds sing instead of ambulance sirens ring. Greener grass, cleaner streets, leafier trees, being head nigga in charge. Next door neighbors, head nigga in charge. Round the way is head nigga in charge. Head nigga in charge. Head nigga in charge of life. Finally being fair in this world. Of 3 very lovely Nubian girls, the youngest one in kinky curls. As real as you will allow it to be. Where life is free and life is good. In my cookie cutter neighborhood. The tongue twister, a mic ripper and script flipper, a cosmic indoctrinating corn chip off the Big Dipper, time, space, reality, stick shifter, so don't push me, cause I'm closer to you than I seem, because I am that extra from inside your dream sequence taking notes. I'm trying not to word it up, nerd it up, cerebral, word it up, hurt your third eye by my Twilight Zone verb knuckles. It's like I'm busting juxtapositions with metaphorical visions. I'm the warrior, goddess, mother of earth words, wormhole to the soul, from the floor of the sea. Snorkelers of the deep are the explorers that find me. Who am I? Well, I'm raw, uncut, like an onyx in the rough. I am a modern glyph, I am your hieroglyph. I'm all in your head, but you can call me Surreal Sista instead. Exactly a year before my birthday, give or take, my sister Whitney's brain boiled with fever. And in her first trimester of transformation, as preparation for meeting her maker, she regressed back to the fetal position and waited patiently, like a lost angel in an invisible waiting room, anticipating reinsertion in the next dimension. During the next trimester, as preparation for meeting my makers, I transformed from a family of cells to an embryo in stasis to the fetal position and existed obliviously. Throughout this stage of transition, we were trans-dimensional twin sisters. She, imprisoned in her own skin, and I, cocooned in amniotic fluid. A symbiotic subsistence where I thrived on the silenced cries of her tortured terminal life sentence for sustenance. The last trimester was the beginning of the end when, at just 17 months old, Whitney let go. She was breaking in her delicate paper-thin wings while I suckled on the minerals cloned from bone marrow moans, the vitamins inside vandalized entitlement, and all the other identity-separating supplements within 2 interstate family funerals, our daily breadwinner's job loss, and an unfamiliar change of address. My stages of development stuck between various layers of death. Defeated cries were my mother's lullabies. My sister's name was only spoken with marked tones of sympathy, forming in me subconscious memories made solely from emotions so strong they could have hitchhiked off the smoke ribbons, escaping the first grenade bomb a teenage Vietnam War soldier ever threw. I was lucky enough to have my fetal eyelids still fused shut and brain too new to retain first-hand war stories. Just cycles of melancholy euphoria pulse through my veins and flashbacks that only Prozac junkies understand. Hands desperately clutching keys to new life so tight their dark knuckles turn white, salivating like gratuitous snitches who anticipate the Whitney Witness Protection Program my family groomed me to be a war veteran, wounded with a quest for eternal ecstasy. And Whitney was the martyr awarded the Medal of Honor. Her heart will forever bleed purple. When I was first born, the moon was full, as mother's breasts, as old baggage in a brand new home. Hope broke the fever, broke the cycles that ended with cut cords and hair, like us sisters in split ends, landing on firm floor, growing since the year before. This is the beginning of life. And life is a cycle, spherical like Earth, like the perfect circle, 360 degrees from beginning to middle to end, death to birth to death again, a numerical riddle that has little to do with blue jeans, yellow brick roads, or green bills and Eddie Bauer billfolds. No. Our whole existence revolves around three numbers divisible by 3, and they would be 3, 6, and 9, because 3 plus 6 equals 9. A perfect circle is 360 degrees, which starts with 3 and 6, which equals 9, and ends in a perfect circle again, and again, and again, and do you remember when the beginning of the school year was in September, right after Labor Day, a holiday, which is a special occasion? September, a word with 9 letters, is the 9th month of the year. 9 months, the gestation of a baby, the beginning of its life ends in a day of labor. A special occasion in the 9th month of gestation. Gestation, a word with 9 letters, is broken down in stages of 3, 6, and 9 months, better known as trimesters, and trimester is a word with 9 letters. 3, 6, and 9 equal 18, 1 and 8 equals 9. That's 1 plus 8 equals 1 times 9, and 9 times 9 equals 81, and 8 plus 1 equals 9. 9 times 8 equals 72, and 7 plus 2 equals 9. 9 times 7 equals 63, and 6 plus 3 equals 9. 9 times 6 equals 54, and 5 plus 4 equals 9. And the rest of this verse is completed by the inverse, 45, 36, 27, 18, 9. The sum total being 135. 1 plus 3 plus 5 equals 9. So, as I was saying, 3 plus 6 plus 9 equals 18, which is the beginning of adulthood. Adulthood, a word with 9 letters. It also juxtaposes the end of childhood. Childhood, a word with 9 letters. So check this out. What life is all about is pregnancy, a word with 9 letters. Childhood, a word with 9 letters. Adulthood, a word with 9 letters. Menopause, a word with 9 letters. But the real epiphany is that I am Stephanie, and Stephanie is the name with 9 letters. It would seem that 9 was everything, but 9 is just the beginning, because beginning is a word with 9 letters. This poem was written in June, right around the time of the full moon. This is the middle. The climax we've all been waiting for, the number 6. Now, 6 can play pretty symmetrical tricks, which makes good meter in poetry, because poetry is a word with 6 letters. I might have very little to mention about the middle, since nobody pays it much attention unless there's a climactic event, like an orgasm, and orgasm is a word with 6 letters. This is the middle, because middle is a word with 6 letters. The 6th month is the middle of the year, M-I-D-D-L-E, 2 sets of 3. This is how it's important to me. This is the end of innocence. In a time where we need pens for ATMs because our wilting privacy is best remembered in sets of 3, P-I-N and ATM are 3-word acronyms. The cycle ends in 30. 30 days, half November, April, June, and September. What about December, the 12th month? 1 plus 2 equals 3. This is where the end of innocence begins with me. S-T-E-P-H-A-N-I-E, 3 sets of 3. 3 plus 3 equals 6, and 3 times 3 equals 9. And the beginning of a perfect cycle is a perfect circle at the end of the number 30. This is the end, because end is a word with 3 letters. 3 plus 360 degrees equals 363. 3 plus 6 plus 3 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3, and ends in a perfect circle again. And this is the end.